All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to continue Atari Force. This is issue number 16 from 20, I believe, right? So we near the end. This is by Mike Barron and Ed Hannigan. And yeah, basically this cover shows what's going to happen. I mean, with Taz. Taz had some troubles, but yeah, we're going to talk about that. But before we do, it seems that Babe is also in trouble because these indestructible ants are trying to devour. I thought it was a she, but Morphia mentions that it's a he, so I could be wrong that it's a he or she. Anyway, but so we all fear that she is, going to die because he needs to, clean these thrusters because these aliens just, clock them or something. But yeah, Morphia does this using her weight and her, well, she's not indestructible, but these ants cannot hurt her in any way. I'm saying her until I verify that she is a he, because I'm not sure. Because eventually, when Babe grows older, he or she turns into a mountain. That's the natural way of life. She getting bigger and harder. The skin is getting hard. Turn into a real life mountain. Don't ask me how it works. But anyway, so she the thruster crates, the thrusters are clean and they are getting the hell out of here. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. But there is some highly trained specialized warriors coming on board, unknown to the others, right? So they are happy and they are just wondering from who or what are these ants, and maybe they should take one on board, to study. Well, be careful what you wish for, because they can. I know they are highly intelligent. They have electronic backpacks with weapons and speak language, which is interesting. Also, Martin says, "Hey, we need to check the equipment because a lot of this is damaged, and somebody, check on Kark, Taz, and Blackjack." Of course, Dart, who was once a partner of Blackjack, wants to check on Blackjack. And while Morphia is looking for Taz, because Taz entrusted her with a secret, right? And it seems that Taz is a she. Yeah, this is 100%, and she has some troubles here. And so Dart comes again in, try to, reason with Blackjack, right? Because he betrayed the Atari Force, tried to kill them. The Dog Destroyer was brainwashing him, using his weakness and his cowardice to kill Dart. It backfired, but I still don't know why she still wants to have contact with him. And he says, "Hey, I tried to kill you. We can never go back." And she says, "Why not go forward?" Well, Dart, because he wanted to kill you. Are you dumb? I mean, I know how love can do weird things with people, but still she believes that he's a good guy, although he betrayed them twice, the Atari Force and Dart. But still, and he is also locked in with Kark, who is the essence of the Dark Destroyer in him. Why he didn't kill him, Kark, is still a riddle to me, because they hate each other, right? Because, well, anyway, let's move on. So she still thinks the good in Blackjack. But then Tempest comes, and he made contact with Dart, and he says, "Hey, you need to help me. I'm held prisoner at Atari HQ." Atari, still New Earth, still exists? And he said, "I don't know what you're talking about, but I need help." Yeah, because the bomb went off and the whole universe was destroyed. Apparently not. So because, well, Atari HQ is still existing. So she's bringing the news to Martin Champion. And he's surprised that, well, sort of, that it's Martin, well, his son is still alive and still Atari HQ, right? So they need to go back to their own universe or home. But Pakrat doesn't want that. He says, "If we go back, then my brother, who is, an officer of Atari HQ, will bring them in for treason and crimes." Although he's there on his own, but still has some kind of a jurisdiction, I guess. Anyway, so while they are just flying back or search for home, Morphia knows that Taz is in pain because she is giving birth. All right. Meanwhile, you have the ant infiltrating the Atari ship, Scanner 1. I mean, I wonder how these ants get their backpacks with equipment and weapons. Who put that? Who put that on them? I wonder. Anyway, and then we see little Tazlings destroying things, maybe because they see the ants, and make weapons. What? How? All right. But then Dart says, "Oh my God!" She says, "The sensors just kicked in for C deck. Look at these. We've got a dozen uninvited guests on board." What? Who? Ants. And the sound's getting louder and louder and louder, and they try to break in, right? So they try to defend themselves, but he says, "Hey, we cannot use any lasers or, that equipment that can blow up the ship or, damage control panels, etc." So they say, "We need to use knives." Looks great, by the way. But it seems that these creatures are impervious to their weapons, and they are, on the brink of annihilation, or. But then the Tazling comes, and they brought their own homemade weapons, I guess, and, dealing with these ants. Following them, killing them. It looks great. All right. What are they? Look closely. Don't you recognize them? They're the same species as Taz. That's true. So yeah, she gave birth to a lot of little creatures, and so congratulations are in order. So they say, look at these miniature blasters. They appear to have been born with extraordinary abilities. Martin, this one believes she understands. The Tazlings are born with rare instinctive abilities, both technical and physical. It seems they lose their natural intelligence with age, and then they have to learn it all over again. Curious and fun. Additionally, they have the language skills, and they can communicate with each other. And somewhere along the line, they make a decision to fix something. But then the question has been raised, or sorry, my English is not my native language. Then the question is, which leads to the I just said that, Martin. Who decides what gets fixed? And what if they fix something that doesn't need fixing? So Morpheus says, "Hey, can you just track on?" I mean, he says this to Morpheus. "Can you track on these Tazlings?" But then, yeah, Blackjack gets a visit, and these little creatures just look at him. He says, "Hey, what are you? What do you want?" Right? And then they are sedate him, but Morpheus cannot get into this room because they are now operating on Blackjack. Leads us to the next issue. All right, nice in between. Story with a little bit of a progression and also some interesting bits here. We also have it's still good, by the way. We have a mini series or mini story with Pakrat. I'm not really going into that, but this is on his home world with this, I don't know, a girl that he likes. It's getting betrayed, I guess. Who knows? Anyway, we're gonna move on to the next issue. So, yeah, fun stuff. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked the video. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz. See you next time. Bye-bye.